they have grown so much in the last couple years. The WNBA has been growing, I think, much more throughout the 30 years that it's been existing. When you had the Cynthia Coopers, Lisa Leslie's, Dawn Staley, Cheryl Swoops, Sue Birds, Rebecca Lobos, excuse me. Now we've gravitated to a point where we have this next class of women. I mean, we've developed from having Candace Parkers and, Skylar Diggins Smiths and, Breanna Stewart, who's still around, thank goodness, because we appreciate her in New York. We love her. Breanna Stewart, thank you for being here. Brittany Griner still around, banging and clashing. The Diana Taurasi's, can't forget about her as a pioneer too. Diana Taurasi, we love her. She's one of the all-time great. That's the GOAT right there. Or one of the GOATs. But now the WNBA, we have players like Tina Charles, who's playing on herself in legacy. She's a good banger, good rebounder, physical player. Jonquel Jones. We're in an era where we have new expansion teams. The Toronto Tempo, the Portland Fire, and this is going to be pretty interesting to see the Washington Mystics face off against the Toronto Tempo. But next week, Toronto Tempo and the expansion team, they were able to take players from different teams as well as participate in the WNBA draft also. So they have key players that we know, like Brittany Sykes, Niara Sabally, Marina Mabry, Lexi Held, Kiki Rice, and then they have additions that they've also added, that are going to put in work, and we know that they're capable of winning. They're going to be starting off their season next week on Friday, May 8th, against the Washington Mystics with Sonia Cintron, Kiki Araya-Finn, and I believe right here, this is where, what's her name? Lauren Betts from UCLA. I think she's on the Washington Mystics also. So on that Washington Mystics squad, I think it's going to get crazy. Yes, Lauren Betts is there along with her teammate Angela Dugalic, and they coming off of this championship in UCLA. I will be watching Washington, y'all. This Washington Mystics team is pretty sneaky. They're going to be pretty powerful. They're going to be physical because they're going to have big girl Lauren Betts. They have a piece in the middle now that can actually go in there and be a force and be a problem. This is a fact. I mean, you know what Kiki Araya-Finn can do and what Sonia Cintron can do. They've gotten their rookie season out the way last year. They understand what it is to go out there and put on the uniform now. And they're still learning, they're getting better. And while they're doing that, now this year, they'll have extra help with Dugalic and Betts. They're going to have two clashers in there that's going to be able to help bring the force and make them much more relevant. So they're going to be able to have a presence now out there on the court. So you're going to have the Washington Mystics and the Toronto Tempo next week. And then you're going to have the New York Liberty facing off against the Connecticut Sun. Connecticut Sun, now they have Brittany Griner over here because she's no longer in Atlanta. She wants to make moves. Gianna Kneepins. You can't forget about Gianna Kneepins. She was balling out there for UCLA also, doing her thing in this championship. just this last year alone in NCAA women's college basketball, you have players like her that are valuable pieces. That whole UCLA team, the way that they played was like everybody was somebody. They probably thought in their mind that they were their own all-star team. Like during Staley's Gamecocks, these ladies were out there. Everybody were playing their role and doing their thing. I'm surprised that it went down the way that it did, though. I still love those girls, the South Carolina Gamecocks. You know, I'm glad that Tessa Johnson, you know, she's going to be good. Raven Johnson, you know, shout out to her. She's WNBA now. Hope she has a good career and, you know, gets it in. Ocott, is it Ocott? Acott, you know, shout out to her because this woman here, you know, she's going to make her way in the WNBA. She's playing with the Atlanta Dream now. But as I'm saying, the Connecticut Sun is still strong because now they have Anissa Morrow and getting the knee pants picked up. They still have Diamond Miller, who's getting better. And, you know, Leah Edwards and the girls, they're going to represent in Connecticut, do what they do. They hung around last year, they made some noise, and people didn't think that they were going to make that noise that they had made last year because most folks were concerned with what's going on over in Indiana and in Chicago, because we know that it's the fact that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark were driving a lot of the influence and catching a lot of attention because the way that people were watching the game and gravitating to it. So I'm going to say shout out to them with Angel Reese already making a new move, being in Atlanta. Being with the Atlanta Dream, this is something special. Because this Atlanta Dream team that's featuring a few great players, like I think Ocott and Medina Ocott and Angel Reese are going to be those girls. Ron Howard, Alicia Gray, Jordan Canada, Naz Hillman, they have a team over here. Oh, Tahina Powell from South Carolina, shout out. They have a squad. Brianna Jones. I mean, Atlanta is going to cause some problems this year too, but they're going to be better. Remember, Atlanta was causing problems last year in the East, and they were a force. They went pretty far, but it was cut short. The favorites amongst many, and as we see the results play out themselves, will still remain to be certain teams, like the Las Vegas Aces, the New York Liberty, you know, the Seattle Storm, the Dallas Wings. They're expected to really pick up the pace this year with AZ Fudd joining her former teammate and her reunited teammate in Paige Beckers, and then the two of them linked up with Arike Ogunbowale in Dallas, which makes it even more special. So this WNBA team, they're going to be going in, and I think that Dallas is going to be something to watch. Not saying that they're going to come out the gates just firing and going crazy, because we know that Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston are doing their thing. They are over here in Indiana, and with their newly pickup of what is it? They have a really good team over in Indiana, and I know that they picked up the girl from South Carolina, one of Aaliyah Boston's former teammates here. You know, and wait, I just can't take away from seeing what's her name? Oh, here we go. Raven Johnson. Speaking of Raven Johnson is going to bring it in Indiana. Raven Johnson, look out for her and her teammate Aaliyah Boston to reconnect something special. The same way Azzy Fudd and Paige Becker is going to bring that Connecticut feeling over in Dallas. Watch these ladies in Indiana, because I remember when you put in power and love together, that's a powerful thing. That's powerful love. And you're going to get that with Aaliyah Boston and Raven Johnson. These two ladies are going to be on it. They still have Lexi Hole. Raven Johnson's story is pretty impeccable. 5'8" guard, straight out of Atlanta. They're going to be getting busy over here. You know what they have? They still have Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hole, Caitlin Clark, various members of this team that were contributing last year. Monique Billings, Kelsey Mitchell. Oh my goodness. Indiana this year, they should be a playoff team. And they should be one of the teams that their season should be better than it was last year. It shouldn't be dragging as if they going to make it with a bad record. They should be over 500 this year. They should be over 500 and really, really, really trying to, how we say, stay relevant, because they're going to have some games that's going to be on TV for sure, because these ladies are the Indiana Fever. And what was the controversy the other year? Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky games, because they wanted to showcase Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese a lot more on television, and the ratings and stuff that these ladies are bringing in and the deals, not knowing that, okay, now you have Paige Beckers, you have other women that are doing great things that have a fan base. And we haven't even gotten Juju. We haven't even gotten Juju in the draft yet. But Juju is on the way. I believe she has one more year eligibility in the NCAA. But Juju Watkins, remember that name, because that name is going to stick. Watch and see. Watch and see, because there's some talent out here, and there are some skilled players, and they're going to do a lot. Same way I know, what is it? What team would you say that Olivia Miles is going to turn up on? The Minnesota Lynx. That Minnesota Lynx team, the Minnesota Lynx team is going to be very dangerous, very dangerous. We're going to look at see who the Minnesota Lynx have over there, because Nafisa Collier and is it Courtney Williams? Nafisa Collier and Courtney Williams, these ladies are going to have a lot of help now, being that, you know, they did do well in the draft, and they was able to pick up Olivia Miles. Nafisa Collier, Olivia Miles, and Courtney Williams. Can you imagine that trio right there going on and getting crazy with Kayla McBride in the mix, Natasha Howard? Look at this squad. This team, this Minnesota Lynx team, I believe that they're going to be a problem in the West and just a problem in the WNBA, period. I'm looking at teams like Minnesota, Atlanta, New York, Las Vegas. Okay, Seattle's always somewhere in there lingering, and Skylar Diggins Smith, I think she's still around on that team, definitely. So those ladies do what they do, and they're going to be pretty good. These are going to be teams that's, I'm not guaranteeing they're going to run away with the season, however, that these are going to be the teams that's going to be running the season and going to be looking good in the playoffs. I'm predicting, because I'm believing in these ladies to be able to bring their maximum ability and to be able to go in there and dominate. Why not? They deserve it. And they get pretty busy. If you have not been watching these games, these ladies, some of them shoot better than some of the dudes. But I'm just going to say it like this: they play well on their level in their arena of style. Because I don't like comparing men and women in the sports. They different body types, and skill is skill and talent is talent. So you gotta love these ladies, because they're actually great. Some of them are gonna be great for real. Some of them are on the way to greatness. You know what I mean? And this is special. It's very special. And that's why I say shout out to the New York Liberty. I want them to remain one of the better teams, and I want Sabrina Ionescu to be good, get her good rest, train condition, because we're going to need her a lot this year. We are. Because New York teams have gotten better since we won the championship 2 years ago. Teams have gotten better. They are more competitive, and they're more thirsty, and they're more tricky. A lot of them are more physical too. In New York, we went from just being a good team to being, you know, somewhat physical at the same time. And we have to be able to keep up that scoring ability, okay, that Sabrina brings to the team, and that good control that we have with Benigna Laney Hamilton. Because I like Benigna Laney Hamilton, and I think that we need her definitely on this team. I would not like to see her go at all. The New York Liberty. We have to make sure that we do what's necessary. Satu Sabali, I think this year she's going to be right there again. She's going to be better. Liani Fibic, who was a rookie before, now she's gotten more experience and knows what is expected. We have a full roster in New York. Rebecca Gardner, I believe she has a lot of growth that can come out of her. You know, Jonquel Jones, of course, you know, we need her to be a beast on the boards and bring them double-doubles, you know. And you just gotta believe WNBA is gonna be for real this year. We're gonna have more talk about that for next week as the season starts and get into there. You know, shout out to the WNBA for real though. You're gonna